Hello and welcome, Glorious Badger here. We have another video for you today. Let's get to it. Today, we're going to unbox the Wurmspat Beastgrave team. I'm also going to build the warband, leaving the building going on in the background while I waffle on. We will go over any history, lore, or rules if possible while doing this. If it works out, we can do an entire section on it. This is for Warhammer Underworld's Beastgrave. It was released today, along with the Ogre team, which I currently do not have. So let's have a look. It's got the artwork on the front with our three characters. The Wurmspat spread plague and corruption through the Beastgrave. Upgrade Warhammer Underworlds with the Wurmspat expansion. Containing the Wurmspat warband and 59 unique cards to enhance your fighters, this pack provides new tactics and challenges for Warhammer Underworld's Beastgrave. Includes 3 easy to build Citadel miniatures. This particular one is Fecular Flyblown. And the 2 others are right here. Contains 3 fighters, 3 fighter cards, 32 Grimwatch, and 27 universal upgrade, power and objective cards. Games Workshop price is £20. Via Element Games or similar, it's £16. So let's open this up and get building. I think we're going to need a knife. Yep. I may get these primed at the end, but here we have 2 sprues of suitably Nurgle coloured green plastic. Here we have 3 bases for 3 miniatures, which is a nice surprise. When I first started building miniatures back in the 80s, all I used was a knife similar to this, to chop the parts off the sprues. You can still do that, however, I would advise using some sort of clippers or nippers. These are some old Games Workshop ones I use for slightly more rough stuff. The blade is, well, it's been damaged. It looks like I tried to cut through some metal at some point with them, unfortunately. These are the ones I use most of the time. They are straight edged. So let's look at the instructions. We're going to build the dude with the spear. This is the glue we'll be using today. Has a fine needle for precise application. Let's have a look at the parts we need to start. The head and the torso. Swapping over, we can see the cards. Nurgle ones. Actually, no, we'll have a look at these right now. Can always cut this if it's... Here are the character cards, I think. Fecular Flyblown. Fecular flyblown. Rockwood staff. 3 or more enemy fighters are out of action or have 1 or more wound tokens. When this fighter is dealt damage by an attack action, reduce that damage by 1 to a minimum of 1 for each shield in the defense roll. Fecular inspired. When this fighter is dealt damage by an attack action, reduce that damage by 1 to a minimum of 1 for each shield in the defense roll. Gulgok the Butcher. When this fighter is dealt damage by an attack action, reduce the damage by 1 to a minimum of 1 for each shield in a defense roll. So his card. Sepsimus, Plague Sworn. Says the same there. He has a spear, a blighted spear. Blades of Putrefaction. Blessing of Rust. Fecund Vigor. Gift of Contagion. Nauseous Revulsion. Rampant Disease. Rancid Visitations. Steady Advance. The Burgeoning. Unnatural Vitality. Fly Swarm. Fetid Shroud. Hulking Physique. Living Plague. Pestilent Deliverer. Putrid Vomit. Stolid Bulk. Unstoppable Tread. Virulent Blade. Wretchling. Blessed Endurance. Blessings 3. Chosen Warriors. Cycle of Decay. Faithful Reward. Fell the Faithless. Nurgle's Garden Grows. Rotbringers. Sacred Trilobe. Seeping Rot. Spread His Blessings. And Strength of the Devoted. So those are all the Nurgle specific cards. The Wurmspat. The sorcerer Fecular Flyblown was far from Beastgrave, hunched over a stained cauldron, when she read a sign in the cloying vapour rising from it. She saw a shard curse of endless sterility in which nothing stayed dead long enough to rot, and the effects of entropy were perpetually undone. Horrified, Fecula added foul ingredients to her pestilent brew, hoping to attract Nurgle's aid to halt the spread of this unplague. Drawn by the rancid odour, a monstrous worm maggot burst from the ground and swallowed the sorcerer and her 2 favoured bodyguards whole. This creature burrowed onwards until it could stomach Fecula's noisome stew no more. It burst into Beastgrave, where it disgorged the group in a tide of steaming vomit. Together the Wurmspatter resolved to cure the curse at the mountain's heart by spreading the filth so beloved of their deity. And now we're going to put some glue under the feet. Just like that. And on that front bit of foot right there. Yeah. This is a new pot of glue, so it's slightly. Put the lid on the glue. Now we bring the 2 parts together. Line up the posts with the holes. and smush the two parts together. Easy. So here we are, all finished up and ready to be primed. Good looking model, I've got no idea what that is hanging down there. There we go. It's the first one. Now let's move on to Fecula herself, start removing the pieces and cleaning off seams. Nice and slowly. Certainly no rush. Now, let's look at some more cards. Beast Armor. Collapse. Crushing Charge. Flash of Foresight. Irresistible Vision. Leadbone Dust. Leave Nothing to Chance. Lucky Escape. Nightmare in the Shadows. Amberbone Dagger. Barb-laden Net. Hunting Companion. Jared Spirited Sphere. Praise Cunning. Sprinting Charm. Substance Siphon. The Scattered Tome. Victor's Experience. Adaptive Strategy. Addicted to Power. Arcane Arrest. Arcane Experience. Awesome Resilience. Frantic Exchange. Master of Many Paths. Perfect Match. Sorcerer's Volley. Let's put these away. Those are the 27 universal upgrade cards. Having built her mostly up, we're currently working on the Rotwood Staff. Applying some glue to the head and the body. Attaching the arm and the head to the body. Looking at various things we might need to clean up. Seams to hide. Chop the base off the sprue. Now we just tidy up the base. Chopping off the excess plastic and scraping where required. And apply some glue to the base. Line them up, push together, easy. Now we're going to remove the bit I was concerned about before, which is the hair. I'm going to tidy the hair up, taking a bit of time to remove the mold lines. And apply some glue before pushing into place. I might have to use some AK Interactive putty to smooth things out later. Now she does have a pet thing. It's just 2 parts of plastic, so it's going to be quite easy to put together. So I have to clean up the mold lines. A couple of fiddly little bits. Before gluing the 2 parts together. Now we're going to test fit this creature to the base. Looking good. However, I am going to remove this creature and paint it separately. Just remove it like that. I'm not going to be able to get all the detail I want. So it's all right. We're gonna, when we prime it, we'll just that's gonna be no big issue. We'll just put a tiny bit of blue tack over that so it can glue on, and then I'm going to paint this creature separately on this pin vise. This will enable me to get to the detail down there. We're now going to do the last chap. This one goes together very well. So let's talk about the Wurmspat. Who are they? What are they? This trio of Nurgle fighters were brought to the Beastgrave via the courtesy of a giant worm maggot. Obviously, we were never going to get more than 3 miniatures in this warband, being that 3 is a number of Nurgle. They are here to try and stop the Cataphrane curse of eternal life in the name of Grandfather Nurgle. The warband is led by Fecula Flyblown, who had been sifting through vaporous visions from within her cauldron with her 2 bodyguards by her side. Gazing into the vapours, she saw the horrors of the Beastgrave and the eternal life that ran amok there. No rot and decay, no glory for Grandfather Nurgle. Slinging more vileness into the cauldron, she was quick to use her powers and ask Nurgle for assistance in reversing this travesty. Shortly after, a giant worm maggot appeared from below and swallowed all 3 into its vile belly. The worm could stand the foulness of the cauldron no more and conveniently spat them forth into the Beastgrave. From there, the Wurmspat began to try and reverse the curse, spreading the plagues and diseases that they so enjoy. The trio is led by Fecula, the sorceress leader. She has a rotwood staff and a magic spell called the Stream of Corruption. Then we have the 2 putrid Blight King bodyguards. Gulgoth the Butcher is armed with some choppy axes. Sepsimus gives you a bit of range with his pointy spear. This warband is in it for the longer game. They certainly don't move quickly, but they're stoic in the face of incoming damage. Able to reduce or mitigate attack strength, this means that later on in the game they will be able to reduce or mitigate attack strength. This means that later on in the game, they will be doing better than opposing teams. Beastgrave isn't really a game for me, however the miniatures definitely are. I'm going to be very happy painting these miniatures up. I do have a fledgling Age of Sigmar Nurgle army, and I'll be looking forward to incorporating these 3 into that army. Now here is the base from the beginning. We will apply some glue to his feet around the posts. Going to pick up the base and smush the 2 parts together. Just like that. Going to make sure he's suitably attached and the arms are firmly in place. We have our 3 miniatures now. Sepsis right here. The dude with the spear. He went together really well. Had a slight issue with the head. It's because I cut a bit of the post off and it turns out it was slightly too much. So I'll remember that for next time. We got there in the end though. Got Fecula right here. She went together very nicely. I would definitely recommend painting this creature as a sub-assembly, however, you certainly don't need to. Just makes getting to the detail at the base slightly easier. There's a gap right here. I'm definitely going to be filling that before priming with some AK Interactive putty. Here is Gulgok. He went together very nicely. I just need to think of a paint scheme for these guys. I'll now bring up a picture of them primed all in black. We're probably going to paint one of these up for one of the next painting videos. If this video was vaguely to your liking, please smash that like button. If you like the format and can probably watch some more, please consider subscribing and making sure that the notifications are on so that you won't miss the next video. Any comments I will gladly read and do my best to respond to. Thank you so much, and hopefully I will see you in the next video.